Good morning, everyone, or good day, whatever time of the day or the week you're watching this or viewing this. It was a beautiful morning here in Oregon. So it's just great to connect with you and share this information for the week around your currency. The currency of who you are is your frequency, and also talking about the secret of gratitude and really bringing those into light of our practices, not just in your physical practice around what you do on a daily basis to honor your being energetically, mentally, emotionally, and physically, but also just the practice of that in every aspect of your life, around how you navigate life moments. Could be a moment of taking a shower, could be a moment of walking the dog, or an interaction with a loved one or with a stranger. All these things come into play around how you experience life, not just your perception, but how you relate to it and how you commune to it. How you build a relationship with your experience of life. And in the native lineage, they'd say "aho matakiase," and what they mean by that is they're talking about to our relations, and it's about how you relate, not just to things outside of yourself, like to another being, but how do you relate to life? How do you relate to water, to air, to food, to fire, to the earth? But even deeper than that, how do you relate to the experience of life? It is the source of creation that wants to experience life through you as you, and your perception of life and how you see things, uniquely designed for you and your expression. And so what makes you so unique, as far as different than anything else on the planet, got to remember the energy that created all of creation. Give an example of the snowflake. The snowflake, if you look under a microscope, has this beautiful mandala, this design, this completely balanced with shapes and angles in a beautiful way. And if you were to catch a snowflake next to it and put it on that same microscope, it'd have a different shape to it. Every single snowflake that's ever fallen on the face of the earth since the beginning of time has had its own unique design to it. So the intelligence or the energy or the frequency that has done that never repeats itself and never does a do-over. It's always creating something new. And so you are exactly that. Your frequency of your soul has a unique expression around your being, and you have a unique gift or gifts and talents that you're here to express into the world. And even if you're a twin, you're still different. Anybody ever known a twin? And even though you meet the twins, their personalities and their way of life is different than from each other. And so embracing that and that uniqueness of who you are, we truly are a work of art, right? You go to an art studio and you tour around the different art pieces, and everyone has their own opinion of how they interpret that piece of art. And so there's no wrong or right art. It's that artist perception or interpretation of what they chose to create. And it's perfect. No matter what it looks like, what colors it is, what shapes it is, no matter what that art piece is, it's unique to its own. And so you are no different. You are that work of art. And the frequency that you carry is very unique to your expression. And we call it the vibration, the frequency. There's two different things actually. But the point is that the frequency of yourself is very unique. And so through our sacred practices, we're able to turn the vibration up of that frequency of who you are. And it's important for you to embrace that, and the more you compare it to anything outside of yourself, a coworker, a lover, a friend, past experiences in your life, future experiences in your life, if you compare it to anything, it's not going to do anybody injustice, because there's nothing to compare it to. Like, that is you in that moment, past, present, or future. And it's important for you to accept that moment, whether you chose to take an action or speak a truth or hold space or do something where you learned a lesson compared to, whatever it was. But the moment you think you did something right or wrong, it's going to take you out of the realm around what that moment was trying to offer you or teach you or give you an opportunity for growth, internally, externally, mentally, emotionally, physically, all the different ways. And so that life is always happening for us, never to us, never against us. And so as we step into a higher frequency of ourselves and a higher vibration of our being, we're able to have a more perception of view of life and to see how gifts come into ourselves, no matter how they show up in our life. challenging moment, blissful experience, beautiful conversation, challenging conversation. Like, it doesn't really matter how it shows up, it's always happening for us. And so how you navigate those moments is how you amplify your frequency and how it becomes your currency. And we'll come back to the gratitude moment, and we'll come back to the gratitude part in a moment. But either way, it's understanding that the frequency you carry within your being is your currency. And based on increasing your vibration around it, or your being, allows you to shift the way you see life, right? A lower frequency of worry, doubt, and fear might cause somebody to constantly be in a space of thinking that life is always, trying to challenge them, or life is happening to them, and it has to be put them in a victim mindset. So that perception of life changes. And even though the same things will happen in their day, their perception walking those moments comes from this like victimhood of like, oh, this poor me kind of always happening to me kind of thing. And so that's the only lens they're able to see life through. And, I hope everybody is able to elevate themselves vibrationally out of that context, because it's such a limited way to see things. And as you come into a higher frequency, things like trust, unconditional love, kindness, compassion, forgiveness, all these things are a higher frequency. It's not a choice of like left or right around like unconditional love or worry, doubt, and fear. It's more or less different levels of energy or vibrations. And so we elevate ourselves through our practices. We're able to see things. We come into a place of trust. And you recognize our life was happening for us, never to us, never against us. And so by doing those kind of things and reminding ourselves in those moments helps, again, elevate our frequency and vibration. So it helps change the perception of how we see things. And nothing actually has changed. We're just moving around and getting a different angle of the room and seeing a different perception, different understanding. And so through our sacred practices help elevate that. And then that comes into gratitude. And it isn't about like spiritual bypassing challenging moments and just being, I'm grateful for everything. It's about really understanding your life is always happening for you, never to you, never against you. And so when I have moments in my life that are challenging, my first response to everything is interesting. Let's see what comes from this. I don't have a reaction. It's like interesting. Like there's like, let the story play out. There's something happening here, and it's not always the final ending isn't always the challenging moment. There's some other things that are unfolding here. So let's stay in my peace and stay grounded and stay centered and stay patient and allow things to unfold to see what's going on. And so that space of trust, is a very high frequency of understanding, and then being grateful for the process. And you might not be grateful for what's happening in the moment, but you know that it's part of a process. And when you can look back in your life and how your life is always happening for you, you can be grateful for those moments and realize, oh, wow, something similar happened 20 years ago and I reacted and I missed the moment to really see what was really happening there. So in this experience, I'm going to go ahead and stop, have a moment, and just like respond to the process and not react to it, and be able to like wait out the unfoldment of what's going on. And so that gratitude, it doesn't always have to come with this happy, cheery, I'm grateful for everything. It's really understanding. I mean, that is definitely a sense of gratitude when you really feel it to the core of your being. But you're just grateful. You're grateful for relationships and conversations and experiences. You're grateful for those hard conversations you might have at work or with a coworker or a loved one, because it helped both of you navigate through something. And it doesn't mean that it's always easy. It just means the fact that the more you can find gratitude for it, you can actually see light at the end of the tunnel, or the intention of what that moment was about, or how it's there to help you grow in some way, shape, or form. And so the gratitude is the secret. And, walking away from a moment that might have been challenging or blissful, or still not maybe to have the understanding around what that moment is happening for, but you find gratitude for it. And in that moment, it helps, again, like I said, it kind of uncovers what's trying to be presented or offered to you for clear understanding, or for more clarity around moving forward in some kind of experience that you've now navigated. So hopefully it helps out, and we'll talk more about this in the videos, in the integration calls this week. But I wanted to just drop that with you and give you something to focus on or have clarity on and ask some questions about. So blessings to you all, and look forward to seeing you on the call this week. I hope.